Let's explore what would happen if a nuclear weapon detonated in space. 1. The immediate effect would depend heavily on the nuke's size and altitude. A small nuke high above Earth might create a relatively contained burst of electromagnetic radiation, potentially disrupting satellites and causing minor ionospheric disturbances. 2. A larger explosion, or one closer to Earth, would have far more significant consequences. The intense burst of gamma rays, X-rays, and other forms of electromagnetic radiation would ionize the surrounding atmosphere, creating a powerful electromagnetic pulse, EMP. This EMP could fry electronics in satellites and even on the ground, depending on the altitude and yield. 3. The explosion itself wouldn't create a massive fireball like on Earth, due to the lack of oxygen to sustain a large-scale combustion reaction. However, intense heat and radiation would still be present. 4. A substantial amount of radioactive fallout wouldn't be the primary concern in space, as there's no atmosphere to lift and spread debris widely. Instead, the radioactive particles would largely remain near the explosion site, eventually decaying or drifting away, posing less of a direct terrestrial threat, although they could potentially contaminate satellites or space debris. 5. The effect on satellites would be severe, with potential damage or complete destruction depending on proximity to the blast and the satellite's shielding. This could lead to disruptions in communications, GPS navigation, and other satellite-dependent technologies. 6. The potential for geomagnetic disturbances is real. The intense energy release could interact with the Earth's magnetic field, potentially triggering aurora-like displays at lower latitudes. 7. A nuclear explosion in space, particularly a large one, would constitute a significant event for researchers monitoring space weather. The effects on the ionosphere and magnetosphere would be closely studied to understand the extent of the disturbances. 8. Overall, while a nuclear detonation in space isn't likely to cause a planet-wide catastrophe similar to a ground-level explosion, the potential disruption to our technological infrastructure and the unforeseen consequences on the space environment make it a concerning scenario. The actual effects would be a complex interplay of factors such as the weapon's yield, altitude, and the prevailing geomagnetic conditions.